So really, when it comes to recognizing concussion, it takes a team. It takes not only the healthcare providers who happen to be around, but it takes the coaches and the teammates and the parents and everybody who's involved with the athletes. And so education is immensely important in bringing the awareness of the injury to everybody involved, because that's where it starts to make a difference. And so we developed our educational module with the express purpose of raising the bar of knowledge across the spectrum of everybody who has to take care of this injury.
I had one specific hit where I hit the opponent across from me, and it was head to head. My head was down, and after that, I wasn't quite myself. Through the game, I played the game. Coach asked me, are you all right? Of course I'm right. I felt like I had, my bell was rung. I knew that. I knew I hit my head. I was maybe a little dizzy, but other than that, I just had my bell rung. It's no big deal. I'm gonna finish out the game. Everyone around me was telling me that, there's something not quite right. But I was thinking, no, I'm fine. Who are you? I'm fine. I'm playing. I'm fine. I really started noticing the after effects within that night into the next morning. I was dizzy. My head was throbbing, just multiple amounts of pain, just from everywhere. It wasn't just one specific. It was, my head was hurting. I was irritable. I couldn't quite, concentration wasn't quite on. Emotionally, I was like a roller coaster, which isn't me.
We simply thought that a concussion was basically a headache or you had to be knocked out. We didn't know that the mood swings, the irritability, the changes in personality were part of that.
Light sensitivity. Any kind of, especially for fluorescent lights, but any kind of lights, they would make my head hurt more. My head was hurting 24 hours a day.
Our household for quite a few months was basically candlelit. We had to turn off all the lights. We weren't sure, with the headaches, of course that was a 24-hour thing for him. It never did go away.
I really started noticing I couldn't concentrate, focus. I wasn't myself emotionally or physically. I couldn't go do any kind of physical strenuous activity and, not have any side effects.
He would get to the top of the stairs and he would just stand there and couldn't figure out why he was all of a sudden dizzy and kind of disoriented. So he had just a whole pile of symptoms that came from the concussions. Within the whole spectrum of what's happened with the concussion, we've also seen a depression side of what can happen. And there was a point in time throughout the last few months that Spencer did start going into a depression because he wasn't able to do anything. He wasn't able to practice, he wasn't able to lift, he wasn't able to participate with his friends. He couldn't go to a basketball game with his friends and watch because he tried that one time and came home, and for 2 days he could almost do nothing because it was too much stress.
Really, in the simplest form, it comes down to what we call the 4 R's. It's recognizing concussion when it happens, removing that athlete from play when you recognize the injury, reporting it to the appropriate people, be it an athletic trainer, the parents, healthcare providers, and then letting that athlete recover. It's also important to recognize that concussions don't always present with symptoms right up front and may take some time to develop, either later that evening or even the next day.
Now that we've been through this, I think that if the coaches, if the athletes, if the parents, if everybody would have been more educated, I really think that some of what had happened to Spencer could have been stopped. I think that he wouldn't have been hurt to the point that he was.